Welcome back to Daily English Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Daily English Podcast. If you are listening to this right now, I just want to say something simple. You are in the right place. Because here, we don't just learn English, we learn how to actually speak English in real life. Not perfect English, not textbook English, but natural, everyday English.
Yes, and today's topic is something many learners struggle with. Maybe you've been learning English for 2 years, maybe 5 years, maybe even 10 years. You understand English very well. You can read, you can listen, you can even write. But when it comes to speaking, you suddenly feel stuck. No words come out. Your mind becomes blank. Your confidence disappears.
And you start thinking, why can I understand English, but I cannot speak it? If you ever felt like that, you are not alone.
Because today, we are going to explain the real reason behind this problem. Not a small reason, but the main reason. Why you still can't speak English even after years of learning. Let's be honest first. Most English learners think they are bad at English. But that is not true. You are not bad at English. You are just untrained in speaking. Let me repeat that slowly. You are not bad at English. You are just not trained in speaking.
Wait, so it's not about vocabulary?
No, not really. Most learners focus on 3 things: grammar rules, vocabulary lists, listening practice. And yes, these are important, but there is one missing piece: speaking practice. Real speaking, out loud, with your voice, in real time.
But many people don't speak because they are afraid. Afraid of mistakes. Afraid of grammar errors. Afraid of people laughing.
Yes, and that fear is very common. But let's understand something important. Mistakes are not the enemy. Silence is the enemy. Because when you stay silent, you never improve. English is not knowledge. English is a skill. Let me give you an example. You can read 10 books about swimming. You can watch 100 videos about swimming. But if you never enter the water, can you swim?
No, of course not.
Exactly. Same with English. You can study grammar for years. You can memorize thousands of words. But if you don't speak, you cannot speak.
So why does speaking feel so difficult? Even when I know the words.
Because your brain is not trained for speaking speed. When you study English, your brain has time. You think, you analyze, you translate. But speaking is different. Speaking is fast. No time to think too long. No time to translate word by word. That's why you freeze. Many learners think in their native language first. Then they translate into English. Then they try to speak. But this process is too slow. By the time you finish thinking, the conversation is already gone.
That sounds really stressful.
Yes, and that's why fluent speakers don't translate. They think directly in English. Not perfect English, but simple English.
So even if someone studies for years, they can still struggle. Just because they never practiced speaking?
Yes, that is the truth many people don't realize. You don't become fluent by learning English. You become fluent by using English. Your brain learns by repetition. If you only listen, your brain becomes good at listening. If you only read, your brain becomes good at reading. But if you want speaking, you must speak.
So speaking is like muscle training.
Exactly. Your mouth is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it becomes weak. Let's make it very clear. The reason you still can't speak English is not lack of grammar, lack of vocabulary, lack of intelligence. It is one thing. You are not speaking enough English.
So the solution is not to study more. It's to speak more.
Exactly. If you want to speak English fluently, you must start speaking, even if it is not perfect. So the real issue is not that you don't know English. It's that you don't use English enough in real speaking situations. And now, let's go deeper into what actually blocks you when you try to speak.
Yes, because many learners say, I understand everything, but I can't speak. Why does that happen?
There are several hidden mistakes happening inside your mind, and most learners don't even realize them. Let's break them down one by one. You spend years studying English, but you rarely use English in real conversations. You watch videos, you listen to podcasts, you read lessons, but you don't speak out loud. So your brain thinks English is something I consume, not something I produce.
Oh, so my brain is treating English like entertainment?
Exactly. And that's a big problem, because speaking requires production, not just understanding. Now let's talk about what happens when you try to speak. You want to say something simple like, I went to the market yesterday. But your brain starts fighting. What is the correct grammar? Is it past tense? What if I make a mistake? And during that thinking process, you freeze.
Yes, that happens to me all the time. I know the idea, but I cannot say it fast.
Because you are trying to be perfect instead of trying to be natural. Fluency is not about perfect grammar. Fluency is about speed, confidence, simple sentences, not perfection.
So mistakes are part of speaking?
Yes, mistakes are part of fluency development.
Many learners are afraid of speaking wrongly, afraid of people judging them, afraid of embarrassment. So they stay silent.
Yes, and that silence feels safe, but it is actually dangerous for learning. Because if you never speak, you never improve.
So fear is actually blocking progress.
Exactly. Fear protects your comfort, but destroys your progress. This is one of the biggest hidden problems. You think in your native language, then translate into English, then try to speak.
Why is that bad?
Because it is too slow. Real conversation does not wait for translation. By the time you translate, the moment is already gone. Fluent speakers think directly in English, using simple patterns like I want, I need, I like, I go. Not complex grammar, just simple building blocks.
So fluency is actually simple?
Very simple, but it requires practice.
Sometimes learners feel like, I know English, but I cannot use it. That feels frustrating.
Yes, because knowledge is passive, but speaking is active. You may understand English perfectly, but your mouth is not trained yet. Imagine this. You watch hundreds of videos about swimming. You read every book about swimming, but you never enter water. Can you swim?
No, of course not.
Exactly. English speaking is the same. You must practice speaking to build the skill.
So the real issue is not English level. It's fear, overthinking, and lack of speaking practice.
Yes, and if you want to improve, you must stop only studying English and start using English every day. Even broken sentences, even simple words, even short phrases.
Because fluency is built through action, not knowledge.
Exactly. Speak more. Think less. And let your English grow naturally.
So, We understood the real problems: fear, overthinking, lack of practice, and translation habit. But now the big question is, how do we actually fix it?
Yes, because understanding the problem is not enough. Now we must build a system that helps you speak English in real life. Not perfect English, but real, usable English. The first change you must make is this. Stop waiting until your English becomes perfect, because that day will never come. Perfection is not the goal. Communication is the goal.
So I don't need perfect grammar to start speaking?
No, you need courage, not perfection. Now let's fix your thinking pattern. Instead of thinking in your native language, start thinking in simple English, not advanced English, just basic structures. Examples: I am hungry. I want water. I go home. I like this.
That's very simple.
Exactly. Fluency starts with simplicity. Now this is the most important step. You must speak English every day, even if no one is listening, even if you feel silly, even if it feels uncomfortable.
But what should I speak about?
Anything. Your day, your food, your feelings, your plans. Just describe your life in English. Let me give you a simple method. Look around you. Pick one object. Describe it in English. Example: this is a table. This is my phone. This is a window. Then slowly, this is my phone. I use it every day. I like it.
So I can train speaking even alone?
Yes, alone is enough to start.
But what if I make mistakes?
Then you are learning correctly. Mistakes are not failure. Mistakes are progress. If you make mistakes, you learn faster. You remember longer. You improve naturally.
So mistakes are actually good.
Yes, no fluent speaker became fluent without mistakes. This is very important. Stop translating in your head. Instead, think in English directly. Start small. Instead of thinking, my stomach is hungry, just think, I am hungry.
So I should avoid translation completely?
Yes, as much as possible. Translation slows you down. Now listen carefully. Fluency is not something you get. It is something you build. Every time you speak, you are building fluency. Every mistake is building confidence. Every sentence is training your brain.
So even small practice matters?
Yes, everything matters.
So people are not stuck because English is hard. They are stuck because they don't practice speaking enough.
Exactly. English is not the problem. Practice is the missing key. Let me tell you something important. You don't need perfect English to start speaking. You need to start speaking to become perfect. Even if your English is broken, slow, incorrect, it is still progress.
So I just need to start today.
Yes, not tomorrow, not next week, today. If you keep waiting, you will stay the same. But if you start speaking, even a little, your English will improve every single day.
Speak more, think less, and never be afraid of mistakes.
Because fluency is not about knowing English. It's about using English.
Before we completely end today's episode, I just want to say something from my heart. If you are still struggling to speak English, don't feel discouraged. Because every fluent speaker you admire was once in the same place as you. Silent, confused, and afraid to speak. But they didn't stop. And you don't have to stop either.
Exactly. Remember this clearly. Fluency is not built in one day, and it is not built by watching only. It is built by speaking, again and again, every single day. Even if it is just one sentence, even if it is just one word. It still counts.
So today can be the beginning, not of perfect English, but of real progress.
Yes, and I want to challenge you right now. Don't just listen to this episode and forget it. Use it. Speak something after this episode ends. Even this simple sentence. I will practice English today.
And if this episode helped you even a little bit, please do 3 small things for us.
First, hit the like button so more learners like you can find this podcast. Second, subscribe to Daily English Podcast so you don't miss future episodes. And third, leave a comment below. Tell us, what is your biggest problem in speaking English? We really want to read your comments.
And we will reply to as many of you as possible. Because this channel is not just a podcast, it is a learning community.
And in the next episode, we are going to talk about something very powerful. How to think in English naturally without translating in your head. This will completely change the way you speak.
So make sure you don't miss it, because it will help you speak faster and more naturally.
Remember, you are not bad at English. You are just in the learning process. And every time you try to speak, you are getting better. Even if you don't feel it yet, progress is happening.
Keep going, step by step. Speak a little more each day, and one day, you will surprise yourself.
We'll see you in the next episode. Keep speaking and never give up.
Bye for now.
Get to subscribe the Daily English Podcast. Thanks for watching.